This is an article I wrote in 2014 for Javella. It no longer exists on their site, and it was taken down after 2 weeks because of not only controversy in the newsroom, but pressure from the Jerusalem Post and officials who complained. Back then, I was comparing American young men who were not only joining the Israeli forces to serve in the occupied West Bank, but the ones who were also joining jihadi groups and Daesh at the time. Yes, most of these young men were looking for tribal belonging, dominance, control. The psychology is all there, right? But the interesting thing is, here we are 10 years later, Israeli occupation forces are posting insane videos that remind me a lot of the videos that Daesh posted while they were occupying Iraq and Syria. And it comes down to the Westernized violence and the Westernized torture tactics. One of the most interesting things I learned in Iraq from people who lived under the Daesh occupation in Mosul in particular was they were most afraid of Western fighters. They were most afraid of the Daesh members who had come from Western countries, and said that their torture methods were often worse, their strictness to the rules. And so a friend of mine, an Iraqi journalist, he once shared with me, he said Daesh did something unprecedented with their videos, their propaganda, their media. They basically sent us the message, whether you're for us or against us, these videos are for you. Daesh was not concerned. They were going to create as much propaganda as they needed to get out the message that they were in control. Now, we have seen some of the most sadistic and terrifying and horrible videos that have been put online by Israeli forces during this genocidal campaign against Gaza. Whether we're for them or against them, those messages are for all of us. They are going to run that propaganda machine to the point where all these months later, they've gotten away with a lot more than they ever should have. While Bibi Netanyahu wants to claim that Hamas is Daesh, I will argue, having been in Gaza, they are not. They are not the same group. Now, I don't condone violence of any kind, but when we're looking at the structures of this violence and the structures of these groups, maybe it's time to consider the worst of the torture isn't coming from indigenous people in the land. It's coming from westernized, trained violence for centuries.